Welcome to the Warband, a World of Warcraft podcast. My name is Swag, and with me today, I've got one bacon chicken ranch pizza sitting in the studio with us, my good friend Chicken. Dude, Chicken, how are you doing?
That was pretty lousy.
That was, it was I. Listen, I've had to come up with like 86 introductions for you.
86. Well, not necessarily. The first like 10 episodes, I feel like you just said something. Maybe like, I'll give you 60.
That's fair.
You probably had to come up with like 60. I'll give you that.
That's fair.
Anyways,
that's fair. But
what's popping?
Dude, it's been a crazy week, man. So much stuff happening in World of Warcraft.
Every week's a crazy week.
Yeah, but this week though, man, the news, there's like spicy news this week. Lots of things happening, stuff with the 12.0.5, other things that we've kind of been alerted to. I'm kind of excited to dive into it, right? Because sometimes we have to stall a little because there's not a lot of news, but this week there's just so much happening, and maybe some things that are a little bit controversial, yay or nay. So we'll kind of find out what that means. But Chicken, dude, let's dive into it, man. What have you been up to in WoW this week?
Hoof. It's honesty time. Not much. To be honest, that long weekend, was out of town for a wedding, and I just did not get time to play World of Warcraft much. I did get on and check my vault and do a couple of those things, but man, it's just been one of those weekends. Oh my goodness. And weeks. Like, it's just busy. Ooh. I just cannot find time to do anything. But yeah, I was able to get on and do like a little bit of something. Check my vault, do like some world quest, do a couple little things. I didn't get to run anything. Hopefully I can run some stuff tomorrow, but we'll see. I don't know. Dude, I'm taking off in like a couple weeks, and I'm just gonna get everything. I'm gonna get all the keystone everything.
Yeah, are you in the new 3400 mount?
Dude, yeah, right. Keystone, yeah, right, dude. That's nuts.
We'll for sure talk about that later.
Yeah, dude. That's nutty. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I didn't get to do too much. Although I am raiding tonight with the guild.
Nice. You know, my wife was asking because she's gonna be there. She's like, "Oh,
really?"
Chicken? She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Is Chicken raiding?" I was like, "I don't know, actually. I wasn't sure." It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I kicked myself in the butt for not raiding a lot at the end of the war thing, because I didn't raid it like all.
Yeah.
I think I might have raided. Oh no, I didn't raid with the guild at all. I think I did like one solo heroic, and I don't even think we got that far. Like, I think we got maybe like past like 2 bosses.
Dude, you saw me raid lead the first raid of the War Within, and you're like, nah, I'm not doing this. I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, I was like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Who let Swag do this?
Nah, it's just life happens. My schedule just didn't line up, and I don't mind raiding the time that the what's it called does. I don't mind doing that, but
the Academy nights, yeah, they're a little bit earlier.
Yeah, starting
like
at 8
to 10
feels
hour
good.
time. Yeah, which isn't too bad. Not too bad.
So
for us.
yeah, it's weird. Like, an hour truly does kind of set me back, where I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired, so much more tired. But yeah, so looking forward to a little bit of raid tonight, maybe some Mythic Plus tomorrow. We'll see. And dude, this weekend's just been crazy.
Absolutely.
It's just that time of the year. Once it starts getting warmer, man, I like to touch grass a little bit. Just a little bit, not a lot.
Can I be honest with you, man? Summer makes me want to play WoW more.
Oh, really?
I think I've said this maybe before, but when I was growing up as a kid, right? I started playing WoW, but I started playing WoW. I believe I originally played first during the summer. And so to me, World of Warcraft there's this nostalgic thing to smelling like summer air. My computer as a kid, right? Like, I had a weird bedroom shape. It was like almost like an L-shaped room. It's kind of hard to explain. But where my desk was, right? Like, where my desk was, like, literally, like, right behind me, like 2 feet, no more than 2 feet. 2 feet behind me, like I had a window, right? And so during the summer, we try to save on air conditioning costs by like leaving all the windows open and just like running a fan. And yeah, so summer, like anytime I step outside on like a really nice summer day, I'm like, ooh, I want to go make a new character and play through WoW, right? Like I don't know, man. The itch,
That's weird.
the itch to get into a classic or something strikes me.
The itch to go inside. You go outside and you have the itch to go inside.
Yeah, go back inside and play some World of Warcraft, man.
Oh,
I mean,
my goodness.
why touch grass here when I can touch grass on Azeroth? Think about all the work that those designers put in to make the grass textures, to add the 3D elements. I gotta explore that and enjoy that first.
Yeah, I mean, player housing, right? You can hang out at your house and WoW, right?
Dude, I have been doing some stuff with my house recently, which has been
Oh,
been
really?
fun. I kind of paused a little bit at the beginning of the expansion because there was just so much to do. And then now I'm finding myself like going back and tweaking things. I have so much more decor, and I've been like slowly leveling my house up with endeavors and stuff. So I have been having a lot of fun messing around with it again.
Dude, I've been working on the guild, or not the guild house, the
Podcast?
the podcast house, yes. And yeah, it's coming along. It's it's not where I want it to be, but it's definitely coming along. So hopefully I can kind of spend some more time and get that really up and run into where I want to be. It's hard, dude. Making 2 houses is hard.
Yeah. Why is that? I mean, I have two. And I like it. Wait, dude, your wife did one of them for you though.
Yeah, I know, but
You didn't even have to do 2. You said do 1.
I had a lot of inspiration behind the first one. Let's just say that. So feels weird to do a second one. Yeah, I don't know how you did like 2. It feels weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm like, well, what do I do? Do I do the same exact thing? Like I'm like, well, I have like this like cafe room in my guild house. Do I make a cafe room? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm weird like that.
No, dude, totally makes sense.
I want it to be unique, and it can't be anything similar to my guild neighborhood house.
Yeah, you want them to feel different. I didn't necessarily take that same approach. I somewhat did and I somewhat didn't, right? So like for my house, both of them I just kind of made as houses and then just kind of let them design themselves, right, aesthetically. So
Sure.
one was like a house. I was thinking like, okay, my night elf had a house, right? My death knight night elf, what would it look like, right? What would it be? And so I'm kind of working on that. And my other house is more of like, what is my house as a host of the Warband podcast look like, right? Like that was the other one that I was thinking of. A little more horde aesthetically, right? More stone, right? Rustic. I don't know. Kind of coming along, but that one has like the cool magic library and everything. Less plants, right? Not super heavy on the plants like my main house is. But I have fun. But dude, there's so much stuff up. By the way, this week I've started pushing up to work on my Resil 12s. So slowly working towards that now. That's kind of been my next project. Haven't had a day like I did last week to like sit down and just like slam them. So it's kind of more of a gradual process. But
yeah,
it's been fun. The nice thing right now is I'm in content where we're not always succeeding every time. Before anything I was going into, like if I was doing a dungeon, we were gonna time it. Now it's like, okay, it's a little more questionable. But I don't feel like I'm being stopped, right? It just feels like group trouble. Like, oh, why is this paladin dying on every single pool, right? Like a weird, like random, stupid thing that you're like, okay. Like today, I did a dungeon. I did a 12 this morning, Magister's Terrace, right? And we had this healer who kept pulling extra, but not like accidentally pulling extra. It was the kind of thing where you could tell the healer's like, oh, we can pull more. Like we can pull more, and I do that sometimes when I'm healing. I usually don't mind a healer pulling extra because a healer is going to be the most aware of what the group can handle, right? I don't like DPS doing it because oftentimes they're just used to another route and they're annoyed that they're not getting maybe the damage out that they want to do, so they try to pull more mobs. And that frustrates me because it's like, okay, no, I know what we're capable of. You're pulling more. You're going to overload us. But a healer is going to be intrinsically like aware of what the group is surviving and not surviving and how much healing they can put out. So this monk keeps pulling more and very intentionally pulling more. And while I know I can survive what he's pulling more onto, right? We just keep having random guildies go down on like every other pull. I'm like, hey man, I'm kind of intentionally pulling a little, not crazy small, but just a little smaller, because people are dying, right? Like maybe if you were a little less worried about going and pulling for me, you could, keep them alive. That might be nice. It could be helpful. I don't know. I was just watching people like sit with like low health too often. I'm generally a fan of healers doing some damage. And you could definitely tell, but it's also hard to tell with monks sometimes if it's like, hey, is he doing damage because he wants to push his damage number up, or is he doing damage because that's his healing rotation, right? Like monk, it gets like a little blurred.
Oh yeah.
But there were moments I'm watching and I'm just like, no healing's going out, and this guy's like dying over here. What's happening? Right? Like I don't know. It's just weird moments. But I've been enjoying that. Excited to do our first Academy raid tonight, Saturday.
That's
the 18th.
Pretty exciting.
So that's gonna be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. I did get the new Hawkstrider mount. It used to be the white Hawkstrider, right? But the new one, the HD version, is called something else. It's like the voluminous Hawkstrider or something.
Wait, what are you talking about?
It's like a mount that you get from Magister's Terrace. It's got like a really low drop rate on it.
Oh, really?
It's because like the old white Hawkstrider was like a super rare mount drop from the old Magister's Terrace dungeon, and so the new Magister's Terrace dungeon has like a remake of it.
Oh,
yeah,
kind of neat.
No, absolutely, it's pretty cool. But
I never seen that.
Yeah, but dude, I wanted to spend a little bit less time this week on because a lot of times I think you and I we could talk forever on what we've been up to and WoW, and kind of just bounce off whatever topic comes to our minds, and that's fun. But man, on a week like this, dude, there's just so much that's been announced, so much that's happening, and I don't really want to miss out on any of it. I don't want to have to push any of it to next week's conversation. So we're going to dive right into a lot of the conversation that we have. But I want to start, maybe the first, we talked about earlier, so maybe the first thing we can get into is the new Keystone achievement. I don't even know what the title behind it is. I was just calling it...
I'm pretty sure it's legitimately called Keystone Myth.
Oh, maybe. Maybe
that
might be what it is. Keystone Myth. Upon reaching 3,400 Mythic Plus rating, players will earn a time lost saddle, earned once per Warband season. This item can be brought to Lindormi and Silvermoon, or time ways where it can be exchanged for a mount of your choice from a curated selection. Exclusive Keystone Master or Keystone Legend mounts from previous seasons, as well as all new mounts being added to the pool. So
that's kind of crazy,
dude. That is actually like a really interesting observation. I have thoughts. I've talked with a lot of people this week, and not everybody agrees with me, which is totally fair, right? Totally fair. I think everybody can have different opinions. But Chicken, when you see this, right, like, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like this is a good change, a bad change? What do you think?
So here's my take. I don't necessarily think it's bad, but I think the attainability of it is what gets me. I just don't know how obtainable this is for the average WoW player, and I think it's no surprise that, well, I don't want to say it's no surprise, because maybe it is a surprise, but this season of Mythic Plus is definitely easier, right? Like, without a shadow of a doubt, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely easier.
Absolutely. This is an easier M Plus season. I'm not saying it's good or bad, right? I personally think it's probably for the better that it is.
I'm just saying it is what it is, and I'm not saying that it's necessarily good or bad. I'm just saying this is what we got, and this is what we're dealing with. But I think it being for the season 1 is a little interesting, because most of the time season 1s are not necessarily harder, but they're not the easiest. They're typically on the more challenging side, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that the season 1 is, oh well, this season 1's really easy. That's kind of strange. To me, this like it makes sense, but I guess my worry is like it's still like pretty unachievable for like 99.9% of people.
Actually, to answer your question, or to clarify what you said that this sounds like it's unachievable for 99.9% of people. If we're getting technical here, this is for M plus players, right? So if we exclude people who don't do M plus, we only calculate people who do M plus. It's actually 99% of players won't have access to this. 99.9 would be the title range. This actually does sit roughly. I think they wanted a solid number rather than doing the normal 1% thing. That they do with title, because title you can wait till the end of the season. I don't think they want to make people wait till the end of the season to find out if they got it or not. So this one they just said 3,400, but that's roughly where the top 1% of M plus players are. So it's very intentionally like that is the 1%. Do you think that this should be available to more players?
Oh yeah.
Why is that?
It's weird. Because, like, no offense, like, the top 1% already have something to go for, right? Like, I think the top 1% already have that, like, motivation may be the right word. But, you know, they have their thing, right? They're like, oh, this is my thing. I'm going to go get, you know, Keystone, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you're thinking title, right? Title would be top 0.1%. So this kind of lives... Sure. Yeah, if I'm being technical, this lives in between Keystone Legend and title.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, in my mind, I still don't see a lot of people pushing for this.
Do you think it should exist at all? Like,
no, unless you're like trying to push for that.
Yeah.
Because like I'm trying to think of people in our guild, and you know our guild's not a competitive guild whatsoever, right? Yeah. We are no sense a competitive guild. But I don't know anyone that got to 3,400. Right?
J-Rob, I think, did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think J-Rob did. 34 is all 16s for anybody who's listening.
Oh, really?
All time 16s. All time 16s is 34.
Maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, it's funny because especially with like this season right now,
it just sounds a lot worse.
It feels a lot more doable, right? Like I'm doing 12s, and I'm like, dude, I could push up to 14s probably. I can. Right, like I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, it's definitely a little bit easier of a season.
Ideas, right?
Yeah. So a lot of the, and I'm gonna push back on what you said. I'm gonna give an opposing viewpoint.
Sure.
But I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong, because I think this whole conversation's opinion driven to begin with, right? So I'll have an opinion, you'll have an opinion, others will, right?
Also, 3,400 is such a weird number. Why can't you just make it like 3,400 is literally like the 1%. Most obscure number. It's 1%, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, it's so weird.
And it's all time 16s, right? So that kind of, right? 35 starts to get higher,
that's true.
Right? Especially if you're doing like, it kind of feels like it makes sense, but I also understand why. It can feel like a big jump.
Yeah.
But you know, I had some conversations this week with different people on this topic, and it ranges, right? It ranges from people like, cool, that's awesome, something to work towards, to other people who are like, oh, I hate this because it's too hard to obtain, right? Like kind of like what you're saying, right? It's like too hard, not enough people are gonna have access to it. And then I've talked to people who are on the far opposite side, who are saying, hey, these were prestige mounts that I got for doing M plus content, like for pushing Keystone Master, and now they're giving it to other people, right? Like this was supposed to be something that was an achievement of mine, and now they're giving away that achievement of mine to other people. That's not fair. We were led to believe that was permanent, right? Like what we got was a permanent thing that was rare and like unobtainable, right? And so you kind of have this weird world, and you'll remember, Chicken, forever ago on the podcast. This was maybe last summer we talked about this on the podcast. A while back, though, there was that huge push last expansion during the War Within, where people were people were really talking a lot about prestige mounts. KSM mounts were a hot topic there. They're also talking about like maybe like old AOTC mounts and stuff like that. But
yeah, it's more like cutting edge mounts and stuff.
But KSM mounts were kind of the main conversation piece. But basically, the idea was like mounts that you got that could no longer be obtainable. They're only obtainable at that time, and once that time was up, you could no longer get it again. And KSM was a big part of that. And so I remember at that time, I was pretty like anti make that available, right? Those were prestige mounts. Even if I don't ride around on that mount all the time, I think that mount, when I'm on it, should be a representation that I achieved something. Even if that achievement wasn't that difficult. Even if that achievement was because my friend helped carry me or I paid somebody to carry me, right? I don't care. I don't care, right? Like, and that was something that I think really annoyed me, was a lot of people's like retort to that was like, well, it was easy to do anyway, so just give it away. It was easy to do, right? And I think that retort sucks, because what you're doing is you're just kind of like insulting people. You're just kind of like, oh, that thing you're kind of proud of that you did and you achieved, well, that was stupid anyways, dude. You're dumb, man. You kind of suck. Just let us have the mount, right? And so I wasn't really a fan of that. I wasn't really for that, right? And I think Blizzard found the best middle ground they could have found if they were trying to find a middle ground, right? And I say if they're trying to find middle ground because I know other people will be like, well, I wish they hadn't found a middle ground. I get that. But for somebody trying to find one, I think this was the best answer, because this does two things. Well, it does three things. One, it makes those mounts available, right? So those mounts are available to be obtained again. Two, right? The second thing it does is it still ties prestige to those mounts, right? Because now, when I see somebody who got that mount, I'm not thinking, oh, well, did they get that mount now or did they get it back then? All I'm thinking is, wow, they achieved something to get that mount, right? Because to our comment earlier, 3,400, bro, is a lot harder than KSM has ever been. This is an easier season. This season's easier for sure. But dude, I promise, man, it was not. Keystone Master was not, harder than that back in Shadowlands. I'm thinking back on getting Keystone Master in Shadowlands, and my first season I did it, I had a friend basically carry me the whole time because I had no dang clue what I was doing. I promise you that's not happening now, right? Like, so that's not the 3,400 mount, right? So if somebody were to, like, let's say, I'm thinking of one right now, right? Let's say the Shadowlands mount. We're just on my Shadowlands. I love the red kind of voidy Shadowlands mount thing, whatever it is.
Red spaghetti monster.
Yeah, the red spaghetti monster, right? I love that mount. That's fun.
That has a lot of like nostalgia to you. That was your first one,
right? That means a lot. That was my first Keystone Master mount, right? If I saw someone riding around on that, I'm like, yo, dude, I love that mount. I have one too. That's awesome. And they go, oh, I got it this season from getting 3,400, right? I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh, you poser. How fake, right? Because I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, dude, what they did was actually a little harder than what I had to do to get this, right? Like, I got in early, right? I was able to get the achievement in an easier capacity, but I'm still proud of that achievement. In fact, it's almost like I got it on sale, right? Like, when you get like a good sale, and you have to tell your friends, like, dude, actually, I found this for like $20 off, right? Like,
oh my gosh,
you're almost more excited about that thing, right? That's how I am with my guitars. Every time I'm like, oh, I got this guitar, but I actually talked the seller down $300 off the price, right? Like, those are things that are important. So to me, it does that, right? So back to those three things I was saying, right? Number one is it makes those mounts available. Number two is it maintains the prestige of those mounts, right? And it does so by making it harder to achieve now than it was back then. And not in the way that I think raid mounts are, because raid mounts, you just go back and refarm, and that's not difficult. It's just time-consuming. Whereas now, this is like, no, you can get this, but there's still some labor to it, right? Like, you have to, like, really challenge yourself. And then the third thing it does is it does give us a goal, like, to work towards between Keystone Legend and the top 0.1% title without it just being Resil, right? It's not just like, oh, well, once you get past that, you just do Resils until you get title, right? It's at least another. So it feels like they're trying to step progression, and they're also like doing it in a way that it mostly feels like if I can't obtain that this season, well, I keep growing, and next season I can obtain it. And if I obtain it next season, I can still go for that reward that I wanted, right?
Yeah.
So
No, I agree with that.
right, which I think is cool, right? So it's like, oh, I couldn't get this season, but that's okay. If I can get next season, I can still get the reward I want, even though it's a season later. So that's my viewpoint on this is I actually think it's a pretty cool move. I don't know if I changed your opinion. It's okay if I didn't, but I do think that what they did was very tactical. Like I would say it was a smart move on Blizzard's part. Whether or not people like it is different, right? But I think of anything they could do, it was the best option, and it wasn't even an option I had considered.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, at the end of the day, I don't mind this achievement. I think it's a good idea. I just, like, my only thing is I get frustrated when I see these achievements that, like, it's not that only 0.1% of the player base is going to get this. Like, even if 1% of the player base gets it, like, that's more than, in my opinion, you know, that's still a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
What
were you saying? No, I thought I had numbers on how many people get into the top 1%, but I can't find. And by the way, I would gamble that now that this 3,400 achievement exists, the 1% number's probably moving up, a good bit higher. I don't think that means that they'll change it. They did say though that they are going to be flexible on this one for the future. Because they even acknowledge that dungeon difficulty does change season to season. Right? Like this season's easier for sure, right? And so I don't think they want this to someday just become like a pushover achievement.
Yeah. I mean, I understand like their notion behind it. Like even Blizzard has stats saying like, oh, like, you know, even people don't really push a lot to Keystone Legend. I mean, a lot of people just push to Keystone Master, Keystone Hero, and they kind of stop there. Just because it gets them those portals and like the mount. Like, let's be honest, the first Keystone Legend mount was kind of neat. The second one was like, okay, this is literally just maybe tiny bit better recoloring.
Yeah, they're just recolors. Like, do we want like the Keystone Myth mount to just be like another recolor of the Master mount?
No, we don't. Heck no.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Liberation of the Undermine one was like a cool recoloring of like, you know, made it more like Mecha-y, if you will. It made it kind of more like Warcrafty, if you will. Where, you know, season 2 is literally just actually, instead of making it purple, we're just going to make it pink. And so yeah, like to me, even Keystone Legend, it was like this is more just for like the prestige of it, right? Like you mentioned. Yeah. Where now I feel like this gives more people like, hey, this is like that carrot, you know, you just dangle it over. Hey, like we're going to put this here as well. Like, right? Maybe Keystone Legend isn't enough for you to push here, but maybe if we give you a tiny bit more, you'll do it. And honestly, I could see that number. Well, I mean, 3,400 is really not that much more than 3,000. So yeah, I could see it.
Now, I think the person that maybe this affects the most in a negative way is that player who is a big mount collector, right? They love collecting mounts. Yeah. But they also like don't have the interest in dungeons and this type of content to ever reach that point, right? That player, I think for sure, would really dislike this announcement and would just wish this didn't exist at all, right? And I have talked to people this week who hold that position who are like, dude, I just want to collect my mounts. I don't. Why are they making me, right? And I think that's kind of the response. Why is Blizzard making me have to get that involved with M+ in order to get a mount? And that kind of raises a question too, right?
Making you.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I was saying. Like they're not making you. You're doing that, right? And people are like, well, FOMO is bad gameplay. Don't make me experience FOMO. And it's like, okay, well, dude, that's FOMO. FOMO is your own emotional regulation. If you can't regulate how you're feeling about something, it's not Blizzard's fault, right? Like that's on you, dude. That's on you. That's just a healthy thing to be able to do. But what the question this raises for me is like, if somebody's core gameplay loop in WoW is collecting mounts above anything else, and by the way, this could apply to like anything you like doing, while we're just talking about mount collecting there right now. Your favorite thing in WoW to do is collect mounts. You love nothing more than collecting mounts, just building that number up, showing off your mounts to your friends, riding around in them through public spaces is just your favorite thing. Okay? Does that mean that you deserve to have easy access to all those mounts?
Not necessarily.
Right. And does that mean that you deserve to have all mounts accessible through enjoyable content, right? For you, like what you would consider enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blizzard does a good job with FOMO, because honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that's like their biggest complaint of, you know, oh, what? And it's some of it I feel like isn't even the FOMO of like, hey, that's not content I enjoy doing. I feel like some of the FOMO is more like, hey, I just didn't play the game then, right? Like, like I how am I punished because I just didn't play the game, right? And like to that point, like I'm like, okay, like I get that, right? But to an extent, you have to say, okay, like we can't just we can't just keep adding things like the decor or the oh my gosh, the, you know, the stupid increased percentage on old content. I always forget what that was called. The bounty, I think it was something bounty. Like they can't just do those like once an expansion. Like they lose flavor after a while, right?
Yeah.
And people just expect it. It just doesn't, like, you kind of just gotta take advantage of those things when you can. And unfortunately, when it comes to things like this, you just have to either, you know, accept it and just move on, or I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. And I mean,
right, either you accept it and you just go, okay, you know what, that's cool. And I think part of it is like, do you think WoW players sometimes have a hard time being like, oh, that's cool, someone else achieved something, I can't achieve that, but that's cool that they did?
To an extent, yes, I think they do, especially when it revolves around gameplay that they don't do or gameplay that they can't do. And can't and don't are strong, you know, are strong words in what I'm trying to say. Because obviously, you know, you can't just do Mythic, you know, what's it called, by yourself. Mythic raid by yourself, and if you're not good enough to do it, well, then that's something that you need to figure out on your own. But
because I do think that can be a pretty common problem with WoW players.
I agree.
It's like this. Oh, I don't know. And if I don't feel like I remember that back in like Classic through Wrath, right? Classic through Wrath was like, oh, dude, this guy got something cool. That's awesome. I'm hyped for them. Another good example of that would be the legendary axe back in Dragonflight, right? I think that was our most recent legendary. That was not just for one class, right? And the legendary axe is such a funny thing because, like, I remember when they announced it, I was like, oh, sick. I would love to get a legendary axe. That's cool that they have that available. But then I started to think about it, and I was like, dude, the legendary weapons are the dumbest thing in modern WoW. Because WoW players don't like cool things. They like balanced things. Like modern WoW players don't like cool. They like balance. And so Blizzard has to create a legendary item and then tune all the classes that can use, or all the specs that can use that item, with the understanding that they will have to get that item. So during it was season 3 of Dragonflight, it wasn't like, yo, when I get that axe, I'm gonna be Giga, right? Like, it's hard work. It's a difficult quest. It's a journey. I have to collect everything and craft things and do all this stuff. And when I'm finally done, I'm gonna have the legendary axe and I'm gonna be amazing. I'm gonna be wrecking face, and all my guildmates are gonna help me along the way. It's gonna be this cool achievement that we've done. And even though I have it, even though I have
envy me, right?
No, right? It's like, even though I have it, they're all like, it's gonna still have felt like our achievement as a guild, and it's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Instead, it was like, hey, I actually suck until I get this axe.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
right, any class that needed the axe was actually at a disadvantage, and basically had to pay giga gold in order to get their spec
Oh my gosh,
to do
dude.
normal damage. Right,
Dude,
like you
so
were
much gold.
yeah, you were basically pre-nerfed, right? So you come in, you're like,
So much gold, dude.
dude, I'm so weak. Because again, modern WoW players don't like don't like cool things like bounce things, right? So if the axe had come out and the axe was super giga strong, and so you got the axe, and like all the top specs that season were actually like strength classes that dual wielded or wielded two-handers. You know,
Yeah.
people be upset, be like, "Oh, they're only so strong because of the axe." But you know what? That probably would have been cool, right? Probably would have been cool. And the problem is, like, it would have been cool if like it wasn't expected that everybody would get it, right? That like it was a rare thing to come across. But modern WoW is just so finely tuned that it's hard to have that anymore, right? Which kind of sucks in some regards. Is awesome in other regards, right? Like I love that we can go into M plus dungeons and feel like everybody's viable and we can push, right? It's this endless scaling content. Endless scaling content like that can't exist in a competitive or healthy way when you don't have good balance, right? So it's a kiss curse type thing where I like it, bittersweet, right? I like it, I dislike it. But that's where we're at, I think, sometimes with mounts, right? I think every aspect of WoW has kind of grown towards that mindset, and mount collecting is no different, where this idea of just something cool existing, that can upset people. And upsets people in all sorts of different ways. But whether it's the I worked hard for this and now it's available again, that angers me, or the I think everything should be available to me and it's not, and that angers me, right? Like it's hard. It's hard because it's a very emotionally heated, I think, conversation, and it's hard to have a good conversation with people on it, because I find a lot of times when I have the conversation, people are so quick to get worked up over it because, again, they either really want something that they feel like was lost to them, or they really want to maintain a prestige that they feel like is now being given away. And I think we'll move on topically, but I really think Blizzard found the best way to do that. Maintain the prestige, still make it available, and create another step for the Keystone journey.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they did well. I mean, well is objective, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think they hit it out of the park with this one. I think this will be a good change. I think it's I don't want to say it's something that we needed, but I think it is something that people will look back on and be like, yeah, okay, this was a good change. Like, I'll get behind it.
Yeah. All right, so I want to kind of shift gears and talk about another update. Sorry, there's a lot of cool updates that we're getting, but the update to M plus tanking, right? So they're adding Lindormi's glow, which right. So if you've done a M plus key, I think it's 2 through 6 right now, or 2 through 5.
2 through 5.
2 through 5. Okay, so if you've done the 2 through 5 key, you'll go in and you'll see mobs that are glowing. The idea is if you only pull those mobs, then you will have full percent by the end of the dungeon, and it's supposed to be a helpful tool for tanks. One of the things they did when they created that affix as well is they said, okay, but what if people are still upset that we're putting the glow on these things, but the tanks, they want the tanks to do another affix, and now the tanks are another route, and now the tanks are getting yelled at, and the tanks don't understand why they're getting yelled at because they're just trying to do what the game is telling them to do. So on top of the glow, they also weakened the enemies that have the glow for 2 through 5, right? So the idea is, in a 2 through 5, the best route possible actually is the glow route because of the nerfs, right? But they're saying now they're going to be adding Lindormi's glow as a toggleable. I guess you can toggle it. I don't know where you toggle it. I don't know. This is in case the new glow option being toggled on and off by the party tank before starting a key of any level.
Right.
Okay, so I'm guessing there's going to be like a button or something, maybe near the keystone stuff. But this does not affect, for people listening, this does not actually affect the health or damage of the mobs that you glow. It's simply just the indicator. So it's not the full affix of the 2 through 5. It's just the glowing portion of it. I think it's great. I think it's a great tool to add, especially from that, like, even pushing it up to that like 10 key range, maybe even up to 12s. You might be able to get away with using that route. What are your kind of initial reactions to hearing about this news, Chicken?
Sorry, I'm just like making sure, but I was pretty certain that it now, and maybe I just misheard what you said, that you can do it on any dungeon now.
Yeah, you can apply it to any key.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I must have missed that because I was like, wait, did you just say it was you could own? Okay, never mind.
No, I was just saying that 2 through 5 is the only one where it will affect their health. But anything over 5, you can still add the glow. It just no longer affects their health.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good idea, to be honest. I really like it. I think it's one extra step on WoW's never-ending journey to try to fully eliminate add-ons. And whether we like it or not, I feel like that day is coming. And in my opinion, or not add-ons, sorry. Just anything external needed to play the game of WoW, right?
Right, and we see it with tanks, because tanks need the most external support for doing dungeons, right? Like, dude, I don't know, by the way, people who only have one monitor, how do you tank dungeons?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Dude, the number of times I have like a map up on my second monitor of like which packs I want to pull and what percentage I should be. So just in case we miss pull packs, I at least know by this point when this pack is dead, I should be at roughly this percent. So then I can like adjust and calculate. That happens a lot in like Pit of Sarin, where I'm like, okay, by the time that second boss is dead, I should be at this percent, because I know we're always butt pulling crap in there, right? So I'm like,
oh yeah, Pit of Sarin's pretty bad.
Yeah, so it is an interesting addition to, and part of it's like, how do you make tanking more accessible, right? Well, get rid of the need to pull up a second website, right?
Yeah. That's exactly true. Yeah, that is exactly the reason why how you make tanking easier is you literally say, hey, you're not going to need to have a second monitor up and study the, what packs to pull. And hey, if you pull too many, well, now you've done it. Yeah. This is your fault. Now you're probably going to get yelled at. Or if you go away that's not meta or whatever, you're probably gonna get yelled at. I mean, I'm sure you will in higher keys, because they're like, oh, look at this noob using freaking whatever it is, guidance.
Yeah.
And right, but like
if you walk into like a plus 16 key, right, try and get your 3400, and you turn on Lindormi's glow, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if that's the route, right?
If it's the best route, right? Like if it's the best route, cool, whatever. But you're probably gonna get some side eyes, like, what is this guy doing, right? But if you're walking into a 10 and you hit it, like, no one's gonna care, dude.
I don't know. Like, someone will probably say something, but then they'll just be like, dude, it's a 10. Like, stop.
Yeah, someone else will be like, are you stupid, bro? Like, what?
Like, it's literally a 10. Like, stop it. Like, there's no reason why we can't just pull what it tells us to pull. And like, it's not like it's saying that you can only pull like, oh, this one pack, you can only pull them. And it's not like saying, like, if it also gave you the buff, then I'd be like, okay, well, that's kind of dumb. But it's still, dude, do whatever you want. This is just a guidance, literally.
Yeah. The only thing I think of when I think of this, the only thing I wish for is, I have to believe that Blizzard's already working on this. Like, this is the kind of thing that it's such a no-brainer win for Blizzard if they can pull it off. Like, this would just, it'd be revolutionary for dungeon content of this type. Uh-oh. So if they're not doing it, I build all that up to say they're stupid. But
oh my gosh,
but they should be doing it, right? They should. Yeah, dude, they should absolutely be doing it. But I think, I keep saying they should be doing it, but I'm not explaining what it is. They really like need to develop a way that you could pre-mark all the mobs you want to pull, right? So you like, and it's
before
savable.
The dungeon starts.
Yeah, and it's savable, right?
That would be pretty cool.
like a route, right? So you could go in, dude.
Well, maybe.
And like
Yeah,
you
that's
should
what
be able
they're
to
working
sit.
towards.
Yeah, you should be able to sit in Silvermoon and do that, right? Just sit in Silvermoon, sit in your player house, whatever, and just sit there and mark them all, and then save it, right? Allow like a copy paste type thing. It's like, oh hey, I could send a code to my friend, and they can import my route. Or
I like that.
or I can
Honestly,
go, I can
That's a
go to
good idea.
Wowhead and pull up a good route. They obviously have the default route, right? There's the default route, but then it's like oh hey, here's a good route option too. And to be fair, I also understand that like maybe you might want a website up so you can see which packs you want to pull together, right? Especially in harder keys.
Sure,
But also, what if? Wait. Sorry, I'm thinking now. I interrupted you as if you were interrupting me, but
you're fine.
no. But what if like you could color code them, right? What does the glow have to be yellow, right? Like imagine if you could color code them, like all right, and then the red pack is here, and I pull all those together, and then the blue pack is here, and I pull all those together, right?
That's true.
All of a sudden, that kind of becomes way more accessible, like way more accessible. So I don't know. Now I'm overthinking it. I'm thinking about it too hard, but to me, it seems like such no-brainer wins that we could have, like all of this baked into the game, right? I don't know. I don't know how complicated that is on Blizzard's end. Like, I don't know if it's as simple as like a toggle, like that they have, where it just goes toggle glow on, toggle glow off, right? And like, if they could bake that into the M+ window, where it's like, hey, build your routes, right? And you just go in and you're like, you just click them, kind of like. But again, though, if a freaking website, right, like Keystone Guru can let me just go in there and click on what I want to click on, surely the Blizzard developers can build a system where I just go in and click on what I want to click on, right? And so you click on all the little icons, you mark them together. That's a pack. I do know Blizzard has always, for whatever reason, been very hesitant about letting us know what percentage mobs are worth. I don't know why Blizzard's hesitant about giving us that info up front. I have had seasons where I've had add-ons that just told me what the percentages were.
Yeah.
But it would be cool, though, nonetheless, to be able to mark, be like, this is the red pack all comes together. This is the blue pack all comes together. And so as I'm going in tanking, I'm not trying to look at a second monitor and be like, and when you're in the moment and you're looking at the monitor and then you're looking at your screen and you're like, am I looking at this right? Is this the right angle? Like, is that the right pack? Now, once you learn your route, because people are listening, they're probably like, oh, I don't even think about it. Swag, I never look at a map anymore. I just go in. Sure. But I'm trying to think through the lens of that first-time player, right? That dude who's tanking for the first time, and they walk in, and they're just like, yo, what the heck is going on? What is happening here? None of this makes sense. I don't understand what I'm supposed to pull. Do we kill everything? Right? Now, obviously, the 2 through 5 range, but I'm thinking higher than that. How do we continue to make these tools? Because the tool now exists, right? Blizzard has made the tool. Can we make the tool modifiable? Can we make the tool more flexible, more powerful, right? I don't know. I wouldn't have thought of it before. I wouldn't have thought of Blizzard allowing us to pre-build our routes. But now that this exists, well, now it's on the table,
Oh, yeah. I think they have to do it now. Like, I don't think there's a choice.
Yeah.
If they don't do it, I'm boycotting the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think there is a push for Blizzard to make this game an all-in-one experience. That way you don't have to have add-ons. You don't have to have all this extra stuff. And whether it succeeds or not, like, we'll see, right? But
I will admit, I have been back in Weak Wars this week, making new add-ons for myself.
They haven't succeeded enough yet. Swag's still building Weak Wars, and they're not even close to being ready.
Someone popped in my stream the other day, and they're just like, "Is that Weak Wars?" I was like, "Yeah, man. Dude, it wasn't even anything important, dude. I like being able to see certain currencies and stuff on my screen when I'm like in Silvermoon, right? So I like at a glance being able to just remember what key I have, how many crests I have. It also highlights when I have enough crests to go like craft an item with them, right? To use them up. So I like to kind of, and a few other random things that can be easily missed because you don't have to interact with them. They just exist, right? And so I don't know. There's just certain info I like to have pop up. So nothing combat wise though. I'm actually not doing anything with weak orders combat wise. Which again, I think remember that was part of my complaint back when weak orders announced they were stepping out. Is I was like, dude, well,
yeah.
There's still non-combat things I do with this. Please don't take it all away from me.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, moving on, there's been a lot of talk lately about gearing and gearing progression. This is a conversation point that you and I we've talked extensively on the podcast. We might have been the earliest ones having this conversation. And just now people are joining in on it. And I don't even think they understand the real problem. I actually don't think they understand the real problem. Or if they do, they're too afraid to say it because they'll upset people. But here on the Warband podcast, there's nothing we love doing more than upsetting our listeners.
Cancel us, please.
Dude, please, actually, in fact, my wife would love if this podcast got canceled.
Yeah?
Yeah, you think about how much more time she would have.
She's told me. Yeah. She's literally told me, chicken, like, I hate that you take swag for an hour and a half every weekend. Like, it's literally the worst time of my life. Yeah. I literally sit in the bathroom and cry for an hour and a half. So
she does.
I think if this podcast was canceled by yours truly, the listeners, that would do us a favor.
Would do us a huge favor. Chicken's kids don't even see him anymore. Nope. Because he has to record the podcast for an hour and a half every week. And that's the only hour and a half that he has custody of them.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Come on, dude. Don't make me seem to be such a terrible person.
I'm kidding. Also, Chicken's still married to the mother of his children, okay? Just to clarify.
Thank you for making the clarification.
clarify that. But,
dude, people are going to be like, this dude.
So back to the Warband's favorite topic, why delves have ruined World of Warcraft. That's right. You get another installment. You thought it was done. You thought it was over. But it's back. It is back again. The same conversation we've been having forever. But there's new juice. There's new tea going on, details coming out. So I'm gonna lay it all down, and I'm gonna explain why I'm bringing delves into the conversation. But this really is not a delve conversation. Let me clarify that. It is a gearing conversation. I'm just joking about the delve thing, partially, and I'm partially serious about it. But let me clarify. I don't think delves ruin World of Warcraft. I do think, though, delves are the reason why gearing feels too rushed right now. I think that's tied, and I can explain why in a second. But why this conversation is back in the fold again is because starting 0.5 comes out this week, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this Tuesday on server reset with the 0.5 update, there's gonna be kind of a bit of bad luck protection that we're gonna get every single week. Now, to me, it's kind of weird because the vault was supposed to be bad luck protection, and then people got annoyed with the vault. I find that anytime Blizzard introduces bad luck protection, players don't see it as this like, oh hey, just in case something happens, I get this.
This is helpful,
right?
This is something I need.
Yeah, players aren't like, oh wow, this is nice. It goes from a gift to being an expectation, right? And so I think that was the vault, right? The vault was like a gift to players, like, hey, look, like here's an extra chance at something, right? So, anyways. The point being, though, is starting this week, every week you will get 2 reroll opportunities, right? And the reroll opportunities, I believe, are related to whatever vault slot items you have unlocked in the vault, right? So I'm a little hazy on that detail.
Interesting.
But I believe it is connected to that. And those reroll items, you can use it one time. For like a raid or for a dungeon loot, and then 2 times I think for raid loot, right? No. Oh. Sorry, you get 2 of the items, and you can use 1 to reroll and get an item in a dungeon, or 2 to reroll and get an item at raid. I believe is the way it's marketed. But a lot of the language I see around is kind of weird.
Or like in the content.
In the content, right?
Oh, see, I didn't know about that. This is interesting.
Yeah. I can pull up the exact article. I think right here it is. Bonus rolls are returning in patch 12.05. Void Forge Turbo Boost system explained. Yeah. Yeah, so basically you can get these nebulous void cores, right? And you can use them to re-roll. So what the void core says is, weave 2 nebulous void cores into a piece of equipment for your loot specialization items may be received once per difficulty. And it will pop up. It will pop up as a bonus loot window on your screen, kind of like where you would normally roll, right? It would say
Yeah.
bonus loot and then have the dice roll next to it. I believe for a dungeon, it just takes one of them, and for a raid, it takes 2 of them if you kill a boss. And
that's Mythic Plus or just Mythic?
Mythic Raid or Mythic Plus.
Oh, okay.
Both.
Is it just Mythic Raid?
No, both. Mythic Raid. I have no clue about Heroic Raid.
Oh, okay.
Probably can be used. Our Gamma can be used.
I would
in Heroic
assume,
Raid. Yeah. But the reason why I bring that up though is because theoretically, if you're a Mythic Plus only player, right, you are getting three myth track items every week from doing 1+10.
3 whoa. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Like maybe two 10s a week. It's hard to totally tell. But I'm a go a little more extreme and just say it's 1, right? So you do 1+10 dungeon and you're now getting 3 myth track items a week. So myth track gear almost feels like a given, right? Like it's freebie gear.
Yeah, it does. Huh. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it feels like we're in this space right now where anything below heroic gear like is non-existent, right? Like, and I mean, it exists.
Oh, yeah.
But like you're not thinking about it, right? Like I have my shaman. I'm kind of dabbling on the side with my shaman, but like I'm not thinking about any gear for my shaman except just grabbing heroic stuff, right? Like anything before that is a joke. Like what's the point, right? Like why would I ever?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, cool, whatever, but like I'm not thinking about it, right?
Oh, heck no.
And that's kind of the weird question we're at right now. Is this now kind of almost like voids heroic gear? Because again, every week, right? Let's say I have an alt, right? I'm running that alt through 110 a week, but I'm getting 3, right? 3 mythic items, 1 from the vault, right? And then then after the vault, when I run that 10, I'll get another one. Maybe I have to run that 10 and then another M+ dungeon. Might have to be a 10, might be able to be a 2. It's hard to tell, right? But run another M+ dungeon, and then that one I get the 3rd piece from. So at worst, you're running 2 M+ dungeons a week, getting 3 pieces of mythic gear.
That's kind of interesting,
dude. It feels like, dude, it feels like mythic gear is becoming a handout, right? Like this feels almost worse than the dinars, because at least with the dinars it was like, okay, well, you get 3 pieces of great gear and then you're done. Now the way Blizzard's playing this off, is like, well, you don't pick which piece of gear you're getting, you just get 1 from that dungeon or from that raid, and then once you get a piece of gear, it locks you out from that gear, from getting that same drop, right?
Yeah.
So now you go back and you do it again, and then you can still get not the piece you want. So it locks that one out. And you just keep going back and doing it until you get the piece you want. So it's less about gearing your character up in eye level and more about just chasing bis, right? It's basically like, I think the way they're thinking of it as like a bis chasing system. The problem is the way I'm looking at it is like, dude, I have like 3 myth track items on my character already, right? And so like next week I'm like tripling. I'm like tripling the myth on my tank, right? And I'm just sitting there like, oh wow,
that's kind of crazy.
Cool, thanks for the handout, I guess. And I really do feel like we're in a weird system right now where we've talked about M+ being easier, right? It doesn't feel like getting myth gear from M+ is nearly as difficult as getting myth gear from Mythic Raid. I could be wrong.
Oh my gosh, no.
I could be wrong, but it does not feel like they're equatable at all. It feels like Mythic Raid is a way harder experience. Now you could say, yeah, but swag.
Well, unless you're like top,
yeah,
like, top, right?
Yeah. Now you could be like, but swag. You know, at Myth Raid, you get mythic drops throughout the week. It's not just the vault. That's true, but now I'm getting 3 free pieces of mythic track gear every week. So without doing raid, right? So
yeah,
like,
I mean, there's also other notions to it too. Like you can't do Mythic Raid by yourself. Like you can't.
No,
Like
you can't. You
it's
need more people,
impossible.
right? You're not solo queuing right into Mythic Raid.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, you might be, but I guarantee you, solo queue, you're not getting more than 1 or 2 bosses down.
Yeah. And even those
So
1 or 2 bosses are going to be a bit of a project. Yeah,
yeah.
it just feels weird, right? It feels like they're not equivalent. If Blizzard came out and said,
Oh, I
"Hey,
agree.
in season 2, Myth Track gear now starts dropping. Myth Track gear in your vault now starts at a 14 key."
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's tough.
yeah.
That's tough, but I'd respect it. I respect
Dude, we're
it,
playing delves.
right?
That's all we're doing is delves,
Right.
man.
But back to the delve question. The problem with delves, though, we talked about when delves first came out, and I was like, oh, this is just going to be a 1-season thing. The next season, they're clearly going to back off of the gear that they give, and they didn't. They probably leaned into it more, right? But
Definitely.
delves are now pretty much just giving out. I think nines give out heroic gear half the time, and so
Yeah, even most of the time in them, yeah, especially if you rotate around and do like specific quests, you can easily get like heroic gear in the the delve, not even just in vault.
right. Prey was giving out pretty good gear too. I think the Nightmare Prey was giving out pretty decent gear. And
Yeah,
so
they're gonna champion, but if you did like certain quests, you could get the beacon, which lets you get the treasure chest, which
yeah.
it kind of like maps it together. Yeah, they like Blizzard does a good job at like pushing you to other things. Like, oh, like you've done, Nightmare Prey. Maybe you should try out Delves. Well, you did a tier 11 Delves. Maybe you should try out Mythic Plus, and that's fine. But like, and maybe that's their way of saying like, oh, that's why we have to do this gearing progression so that you can get into bigger stuff. But then it's like, dude, you don't need full hero track gear, Blizzard, to do a +2 dungeon. Like, no way.
Yeah, I really
way.
no, not at all, dude, not at all. Right, I think the answer is really right now that they just need to push up. Raid can stay where it is, but everything else needs to have its difficulty pushed up. In terms of gear drop, right? So like delves, if delves want to give heroic gear, and I think right now even in delves, heroic gear is really from like bountiful chests and things like that, but even still, right, push that up. Right? I think right now it's at the 8 level. Push up to like a 12.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Like make that a challenge. Make that a challenge. Same with Prey, right? Like push that up a little bit. And make that champion tier feel like it's desirable. Right? I think that's the language I want to use. Champion needs to feel desirable. That when you get a piece of champion, you're like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Heroic then should be like, oh, I'm juicing now. And Mythic should be that like epic, like, wow,
like
this
I'm
is
pushing.
awesome, right? Like, wow, I'm really being rewarded for how difficult the gameplay is right now, and this is going to help me so much in that gameplay. And right now, it feels like the opposite has happened. It feels like gears become easier and easier. And if that's the case, if that's where Blizzard wants to go, I'm not saying that's the end of the world, but it does. I don't know. I think for the player who wants to play for a month, I think the player who wants to play a month every season will really enjoy it. And the player who wants to enjoy the whole season will really not enjoy it, right? I think that's where it is. Maybe it's enjoyable for the M+ player who just wants to push title range. And internally, they kind of wish the game was just, not in an MMORPG and just a normal lobby queue game that they queued into their hero and there's no gear to worry about. But it is an MMO and an RPG, and I love the RPG element of it, and I like watching my character get stronger. I like the little rewards. I like the little dopamine I get. So that was kind of why I wanted to hit on that topic a little bit, because it is something we've talked about. And this week I've heard multiple other big names in WoW discuss it and just talk about like, oh, is gear getting too easy? Like, is it becoming too available? It feels like there's not a lot of gear progression happening. It feels like you're just right away getting slammed with tons of heroic gear, and mythic gear is relatively easy to get. Especially this season 2, where you have a single mythic boss, right? That's off by itself, and even like the 6 boss raid, you can now do those without feeling like you're locking your character out from whatever your guild is doing.
Yeah.
So there's like farmable. Yeah. There's like farmable mythic gear. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of pieces of this puzzle coming together. And so I want to clarify for those listening, that I don't think delves ruin WoW, but I do think
I just hate them.
I do think for solo content right now, Blizzard leaned too hard into giving them equivalent gear, but not equivalent difficulty. And because they did that, then they went to M+ and brought M+ difficulty down, right? And you remember back in the War Within, when we started giving out like heroic gear for like +2s, I was like, yo, what are we doing? Why are 2s giving heroic in the vault, right?
Yeah.
Dude, my guild has just started doing heroic raid. Last week.
Yes.
Last week was the first time we did it. This was our second week in heroic raid. I don't think I've needed a single piece of gear that's dropped. You know how much that sucks?
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Dude, by the time most players get into heroic raid, they're already maxed out on heroic gear. Like what is mythic raid, right? Like is that pinnacle like, oh, I can get some mythic gear from there. That's awesome. Heroic raid, not at all. Not at all. And I think it's a mix of M+ needing to push up its gear, right? Like hey, you know, if you're doing a 2 through a 6, you're not getting heroic in the vault, right? You're getting like champion in the vault, right? Then it's like, okay, 7 through 12, right? Or maybe we go like 8 through 12 or something. Now you're getting heroic in the vault, right? And then like 13 up, you're getting mythic track gear, right? Like push it up, make it more difficult. And the players who are really big on like that love M+, only want to do M+, and are like, we need sources of mythic gear from M+, they're not going to suffer if the requirement is a 13 gear. They're not suffering, right?
Yeah.
Like that's fine. I just want, like, my gameplay loop is building my character and get my character stronger, right? And man, I don't know. Like, I'm already looking at my shaman and just being like, okay, I don't know, man, dude. I feel like I'm done gearing my DK, like, cool, and I'm looping into
Gotta do something else. Yeah,
right, like,
I get it.
Again, next week I'm gonna triple, maybe over triple. I might only have 2 mythic pieces of gear, right? Now people are listening like, you don't even have a full mythic set, and you're complaining about the gear progression. Yeah, I'm complaining because we're like 6 weeks into the season, and I'm about to go from like 2 or 3 pieces of mythic to like 5 or 6.
Yeah, especially season 1 too.
In like a single
season
week.
1 typically is a bit slower to get to like your full set. Like if it was a season 2, then I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, season 1, it's muy sus.
Oh well, I applaud Blizzard for trying to find ways that aren't a dinar, right? I don't think the dinar system is the answer, right? So I applaud Blizzard for finding ways that aren't a dinar.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they were trying to think about the player who's chasing Biss, right? And for that player, this system is like, oh, awesome. I have more chances at like my Biss gear. I'm already kind of pushing maxed out on Mythic anyways. This is awesome. But for me, it's just like, hey, I'm getting a lot of gear really fast for doing almost nothing. What's going on?
Hey, this is not enjoyable.
Right? It's kind of like back to that mount question, right? Like, do I deserve the mount just because I get in the game and log in? No, right? There needs to be some level of prestige to it. And am I okay having a system where I can't be the strongest or get all the stuff? Yes, I'm okay with that. I'm okay, dude. If my character only ever pushes myth or only pushes hero and it's just occasionally getting a myth piece here and there from vault, but like hero pieces still feel really awesome for me, I'm happy. Like I'm happy with that, right? But right now, it's just, I don't know. I'm ranting on too long. Right now, the gearing, though, just, it feels too fast, and then there's nothing.
That is true.
So
very true.
All right, but there's some other stuff happening. We have the decor duels coming out. Those are going to be really fun. You'll probably see me playing those a lot this week when they happen. It's like a prop hunt style thing. Other news as well, but I think, Chicken, we wanted to do something unique for today's episode. And instead of listener questions, we want to do some listener hot takes. So we've actually asked our Discord not to send questions this week. We do have a couple questions that we have from our Discord that we're going to save for next week. But this week we're doing our listener hot takes. Now, the hottest take of all time on this podcast is that you should support us on Patreon. That's right. If you have never checked out our Patreon, There's a link down in the description. It's an amazing way to help support the podcast and keep us on air, make what's happening happen. And we literally could not do this without your support. And so to all of our Patreon supporters, Chicken and I know that we overpromise and underdeliver on Patreon rewards. Big
yes,
time.
we do.
Big time.
I apologize.
Yeah, big time. We're gonna look over that system and change it. But we know that you guys aren't there for the rewards. We know that you're there because you love this podcast and you love that you get to listen to us every week, and that not just you but others get to as well. And we are so freaking thankful for that.
Listen to our luscious voices. Keep going.
Yes. Also, another hot take that we have on this podcast is that your guild sucks. That's right. Your guild's terrible. Our guild's the greatest guild. Our guild's the greatest guild ever. Unless you're already in our guild, then your guild's great. Your guild's great. I'm only teasing. I'm sure you guys are in a great guild, but if you're not in a guild that you love or not in a guild at all, and you're trying to find somewhere, Chicken and I want to offer for you to join our guild. We're a part of a guild called Astra. It's amazing. It's not our guild that we run. I'm an officer in it, but I don't run the guild. We have an amazing guild master. We simply just found the guild coincidentally through raiding, and they're amazing people, but we always enjoy offering for our listeners to be a part of that experience. So if you want to learn about more, you can join our Warband Discord with a link down in the description, and there's a Join Astra channel in there where you can learn more. But let's talk about the hot takes that our Discord gave. Maybe give a couple opinions on them, see what we think, and let us know too in the comments if you are listening to the podcast right now, what hot takes do you have about WoW? It's funny because somebody was like, I'm not sure if these are hot takes or me just complaining about things I don't like, and sometimes it feels like the same thing, right? Yeah. So the first hot take we have: not enough cinematics of Xal'atath's foot jewelry.
Okay.
Chicken agrees.
No, I don't. That one can stay.
Chicken actually wishes the jewelry would come off the feet.
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't want anything covering that foot. 2 feet.
Oh my gosh. Stop. Whoa.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. All right. That's a hot take. That's I will say though, I don't think we've gotten any. I don't think. Somebody's gonna prove me wrong. I don't think we've gotten any in Midnight though, right?
No, we haven't.
So maybe about due for one. Although I wouldn't complain if they did give us the foot jewelry as a MOG option, some transmog.
Ooh.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
That's interesting. I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate that. All right, another hot take. My hot take is it's boring, and this is the first time in 8 years I've unsubbed from WoW. Mythic Plus feels too easy. The raid being split into 3 separate instances is stupid.
Oof.
Ooh.
I mean, ooh. I just, I don't want to say I disagree. I think there is definitely some ease to this, right? But I don't know if it's unsubscribe worthy, in my opinion. I think it's just, I think the natural progression of WoW is getting to the point where people are just getting better and better, right? And people are, I don't want to say that they're finding the game less enjoyable because they're getting better at it, but I think again there is a skill gap, right? Like once you get to a certain point, like I feel like to get a lot better, you have to really you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if this season is just easy for that skill up to, we'll just put that 99% figure on it, right?
Yeah.
If this season is easy for those 99% people, then yeah, maybe this is just an easy season, but I guess we gotta hang in there and hope that it doesn't go downhill.
Yeah.
Right?
So Chicken, here's the fun thing about hot takes. Like when we talk about hot takes on the podcast, is we're giving our listeners a chance to have a hot take, but that doesn't mean we can't have a hot take, right?
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Listen, here's the deal. Chicken and I are also allowed to have hot takes, right? My hot take is that your hot take's stupid. That's my hot take. All right? Take it or leave it. It's a dumb hot take. And let me explain why it's a dumb hot take. I think maybe you're commenting out of frustration with your current experience in the game. I would believe you if you just said, wow, it's boring to you right now. That's fair. I think, though, your reasonings, I honestly, I don't think you have substance behind them. I don't think you could defend them One, M plus can never be too easy. It's impossible for M plus to be too easy because it scales infinitely. Fair. It scales infinitely, right? So M plus is never too easy unless in your brain you have one achievement in M plus that you're trying to go for, right? So if you're like, all I go for is Keystone Legend and that's it, and Keystone Legend's too easy, that's fair. Maybe try going for the 3400 IO mount, right? Go for Keystone Myth.
Yeah.
So that would be one. The other,
I mean, that's a fair. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The other about the raids being split. Okay. I mean, like, okay, right? Whatevs. That one's hard because I don't know. Maybe the negativity is if like your guild is a really heavy splits guild, right? And so you're doing mythic splits because of that. I can see that being frustrating. But other than that, like really specific reason, I don't know. I don't know if the raid being split up into 3 instances has been an issue, right? To me, it's like, oh, cool, they're telling 3 parts of a story without it all having to take place in one raid. Because for me, the dumb part of raid was like you go in there and there's like one person you're trying to kill, but you have to kill like 7 bosses, 6 of which have never been seen in lore before, and they just throw them in there. 'Cause why the heck not, right? Fair. Right. And so, like, this at least felt like there was more story happening than what a raid would normally be able to pull off. Maybe for a Race to World First, if Race to World First viewing is your thing, but again, those are all weak answers though to call something stupid, right? Like, and I guess that would be my hot take. My hot take is that your take is disingenuous, and that you're probably genuinely frustrated, but your take is not articulating that correctly to whatever your real frustration actually is.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, you didn't think we were gonna be ripping your hot takes apart, did you? Well, we are. We are today. That's what's happening here.
I'm not. I'm on. I think you're a great person.
All right. Another hot take. Here's my hot take. Silvermoon has forever been sullied by Alliance scum and will never be looked at as a Horde city again, giving the Horde a section of a city reserved for just them, but no unique driving purpose to actually go there that I can see accomplished nothing. Ooh. What do you think?
I mean, sure. Don't ask me because I don't give a rat's bottom about that.
Yeah. Well, clearly, whoever sent this hot take in doesn't care about uniting of the elves, right?
Yeah, exactly. What Swag said.
Yeah. Do you not realize that the Dawnwell belongs to everybody?
Yeah, whatever Swag said.
Yeah. Okay, no. Honest answer to whoever sent this. And we didn't write the names down in our notes because we genuinely didn't want to have names attached to the hot takes, because I think sometimes when somebody sends a hot take in and we know the person, that changes how we receive the question. So I will say though to this one, I'm kind of with you. I'm glad we are in Silvermoon because I really wanted to see Silvermoon. I'm happy we got to go back. It's a beautiful city. Quel'Thalas is a beautiful zone. I think being here was the right move. But I do agree that it feels too neutral of a city right now, right? It feels far, far too neutral. I also think that they softened the Blood Elves a lot, right? I think they've really tried to go for this like softer Blood Elf approach, like basically just High Elves at this point. And I think that kind of wasn't my favorite. I mean, you even see like a lot of the current designs and stuff, they incorporate a lot of like blue gems into the Blood Elf design, whereas historically green gems were their color, like red and gold and green. And some white sometime mixed in there, right? Black. And now it's like a lot of blue gems mixed in, and it feels more high elfy. And I know Chicken's like, what the heck is Swag even talking about? But I do agree. It feels too blah. I don't love that all the elves had to show up and help bring the Sunwell back. Why the heck are we calling it Dawnwell? Like, why can't it still just be called the Sunwell? It's still the Sunwell. Like, why are we changing the name of this thing, right? So. Yeah, I would generally be in agreement with you. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. But man, sometimes I do miss like the tension between Horde and Alliance more. All right, next question. Yeah. The 4-week-long quest to get the PvP neck was actually good for the game. Its stats are decent for raids. Haste/Mastery is a good combo for a lot of classes, and there are not a lot of necks with those stats. means players may find themselves trying PvP. I like that. You know what? I agree. I never disliked the PvP.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Next quest. Yeah, I do think a lot of people trashed it though. Chicken, any final thoughts on that?
Yeah. No, I think, dude, everyone was upset about it.
Dude, everyone was so upset. I'm like, it's not even that big of a deal. I think sometimes too, WoW players feel like they're just forced to do everything. Right? Like, I don't know why, dude. Sometimes like Blizzard comes out
Instant
something.
gratification too.
Yeah, and WoW players are like, oh, dude, Blizzard just put a gun to my head, and I now need to go pet 47 rabbits in our guild neighborhood in order for me to unlock this champion piece of gear that I can go take and trade with a Murloc down in Pandaria in order to... And I'm like, well, do you want to do that? No, I don't want to do this, and don't do it. Well, it's a hero piece of gear I have to do, and it's like... Okay, so you do want to do this, right? Like, I don't know. To me, dude, if I really don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. I don't like, okay, whatever. Like, I play WoW because I just want to play a freaking game, dude. You know?
Yeah.
If it's not appealing to me, I just don't do it. And so I think the PvP thing was actually a relatively simple thing. Got people into PvP, and the stats were good, and it was cool. And it wasn't like a free piece of hero gear day one. It was like, hey, over the course of 4 weeks, not a big ask. It's a small lift, but you'll get a piece. I thought it was a cool move.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Not gonna find me hating it.
No.
I like it. I think
All
it's a great move.
Hot take for Chicken says the story was better when we were not the strongest heroes. Example, the true heroes being Thrall, Jaina, others. It shows that the true threat when we it showed the true threat when we as a community had to come together to defeat the big evil. Not my character is the main character. Chicken, how do you feel about that?
I kind of like that, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It takes like the, I mean, it makes the story feel bigger than it actually is, because like when you run through the storyline, well, it's like, well, yeah, I'm the dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but also the person in my party is also the dude. Like,
we're all the guy.
Yeah, exactly. We're all the guy. How does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, we're literally all the guy.
The guy,
so,
dude.
I like that, to be honest. I kind of think that's a hot take that makes hot takes look hot.
Yeah, right. I mean, listen, you know me. I love my.
You love a hot take.
My lore, right? And
oh yeah, that's true,
dude. Yeah, I mean, but it is tough, right? Like when you walk in as a character, right, and you're looked at, and they're like, "Yo, that's the guy." Right,
that's
and you're just standing there as Elijah Woods in your power armor, right, from Spy Kids 3D. You're like, I'm the guy, champion, Mall Walker. That was the worst one, right? Mall Walker, champion, right? Whatever generic name. Which,
champion.
By the way, my one acceptable use for AI in gaming, would be having like AI fill in your name. For stuff, right?
Oh, easily. Yeah,
right?
Come on.
Dude, please, let's do that, right? Obviously, voice actors never want to do because they don't want to have their voices cloned for obvious reasons, but it would, from a player perspective, it would be a great touch. Not to have the whole dialogue be AI voiceover, but just your name, right? So that way, like, it kind of feels like a more in-depth thing. But let's go back. Let's go back a few years to like early 2000s, right? And one of the things that made Warcraft 3 so cool, the Frozen Throne, was that you were like watching these heroes, right? So you were watching the heroes do their things, right? Jaina, Thrall, even Arthas, right? Illidan, Malfurion. You had these hero characters, Vol'jin, Bane, and Cairn, right? These hero characters. And then you enter into World of Warcraft. And you literally enter in and you're a nobody, dude. Like, as an orc, like, the first thing you're doing is telling peons to get back to work. You're like, hey, guys, you're supposed to keep working. Go get back to work. Stop sleeping. Work, right? And then,
work.
Right, maybe you go kill some scorpions and something. And then you find out, oh, shoot, there's some, like, imps in that cave, dude. I think there's, like, a warlock there. Man, this warlock's kind of screwed things up. We should go take care of him. So now you're going in, right, like with your hatchet, barely able to do anything. You're like, I got an auto attack and like one spell, right? And you're like, we'll see what happens. And you walk in there and you kind of clear out a little bit. If you come back and they'll go back, there's another thing, right? And you kind of slowly progress, and eventually you like make your way to Orgrimmar, right? Like you stop at a couple of towns on the way, and eventually get to Orgrimmar. And you walk in, it's like, hey, Thrall's kind of heard of some stuff you're doing. He wants to send you off on the task. And you're like, Thrall? The Thrall? War Chief of the Horde?
That's true.
Right? And you walk in, and Thrall's like, hey, dude, I've got this like small task over here. I heard you like I heard from my advisor you were pretty helpful there. Can you go do this, right? You're just this like nobody, but when you're around these people, like, whoa, this is awesome. These guys are so cool. And at some point, probably Pandaria, post-Pandaria, WoD for sure, you start seeing it happen because it's WoD. You get your own garrison, right? So you're really making your way up there. Legion, though, I think is where it peaked. Not peaked, but where it really plateaued way up there. But you become the champion, right? You become the guy. Everybody knows you. Everybody knows of your deeds. And naturally, to some degree, that is, you kind of want that. Like, you kind of want to eventually be recognized for everything you did. But now, whenever disaster strikes, you are the champion. You are being sent in. Like, you're the guy, right? You're the guy, right? You're first on the ground doing it. Like, Wrath of the Lich King was always cool because you show up, and, like, they've already built their, like, settlement. Like, they've already built stuff. You're just one of the troops, the extra help showing up. You're just like, oh, hey, yeah, I'll head to, Northrend, see what I can do, pick my nose a little bit, right? Like, I don't know, And so I do agree, right? The story, I think, was a lot stronger when you weren't the strongest. When you were just a guy in the story doing a thing.
A guy, not
right?
the guy. Yep.
Like, who I want to be is not the champion. Who I want to be is when Bane needs to lead a raid team into a dungeon and slay a dragon. I want Bane to be like, yo, dude, that guy's a good tank. We should have him in our group.
Let's get this guy to come help us.
That's what I want, right? Bane to be like, dude, I've actually seen him do some stuff. He's kind of chill. I vouch for him, right? Like, he's cool.
Come here, brother.
He's good.
Come here, brother.
Right? Like, that's what I want. I don't want to be like, yes, the champion has arrived. The champion of Azeroth. You've saved the world 7 times. We all... Like, if that's the case, if I'm the champion, why am I not the new ruler of Stormwind, right? Why, like,
true.
Why was Chandris? Yeah, my character's an awesome Night Elf, right? Why was Chandris picked to be the next leader of the Night Elves and not me? Like, Chandris doesn't have half the accomplishments I have. Now, is she older than my character? Probably. But my character's got a lot of accomplishments, right? Was Chandris there when the Lich King fell? No. Was Chandris there when we defeated Illidan? Sort of? No. Was Chandris there when we defeated Gul'dan? No. Right? Like, well, actually, she might have been there. I don't remember. Point being, though, it is this interesting, just like dynamic right now where it's just not fun. And it's not good for the new player, right? The new player loading into the game, and you load in and you do like the, I don't know what the new tutorial is. I have to try it because I know Jaina and Thrall are there now. So you probably load in, and the first time they see you, they're like, champion, right? Like,
they're like, this guy, we've never met him before, but we just know he is the one.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I miss loading in, like, the old outfits, too. Like, the new outfits, like, you kind of load in with, like, armor that kind of looks appropriate to what you are. But back in the day, it was just like, dude, I got a leather vest and some pants. And I'm going to try and learn how to be a warrior, right? Like, you're just like, I'm going to figure it out. Right?
Come on.
Oh, well, whatever. That was a good hot take, though. I'm in total agreement. Another hot take. They said there should be a class envy. It's healthy for some classes to just be better at some things than others, or have things that make them unique. Yeah, I mean, what we talked about earlier, right? Like, it's that question of, like, do you want things to be cool or balanced?
Cool. I want them to be cool.
Right? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, this class can do this cool thing, right? This class has a mass dispel. Isn't that cool? And then
let's be honest. Most people have one of each class, or pretty close to one of each class, right? So, like, I don't know, if one's better and you want to play it, then play it, right?
Yeah, and the problem comes... I'll talk about this. The problem comes in, like, when you start doing...
Do we have enough time? Yes.
When you start doing competitive content. Yeah, we'll make time. When you start doing, like, competitive content, right? and you're like, oh, we're gonna push keys, we're gonna like slam keys hard and try and go up. However, the meta is pretty locked in because these 7 specs over here are actually much better at raid. They're great at raid, but they're not good at M+.
Sure.
Now everybody who refuses to play anything but those 7 specs are going to be angry that they can't do M+ at the same level, right? And so now Blizzard has to make every spec in the game equally viable for every piece of content in the game. It has to be good at solo content for delves and for prey, right? It has to be good at M+, right? It has to be good at raid, and it can't feel like it's lacking, right? If it's a healer, it has to have all the same capabilities as another healer. If it's a tank, it has to have all the same capabilities as another tank. Tanks are probably the most flexible, I would say, in my experience of all of these, right? But all right, same with like DPS, right? It has to do just as good AoE damage as every other DPS and just as good single target as every other DPS. That's why everything's cleaved now, by the way. Like, everything is just cleaved because Blizzard gave up. They're like, dude, we're so done trying to balance this, right? Because you no longer can you have the, like, oh, dude, this guy's good at this and this guy's good at this over here. Because all of a sudden, the guy who's like, I'm only ever going to play a Ret Paladin and nothing but a Ret Paladin. If I have to stop playing Ret Paladin, then I'm just going to go play Final Fantasy 14 where they don't have Ret Paladin, right? Like, I'm going to go back to Classic WoW and play my Ret Paladin there, right? And I don't know, man. There's part of me that's just like, sometimes it's okay to, I don't know. And the way the question is worded, there should be class envy, right? I think it's okay to look at other classes and go, oh, I wish I could do what they can do. Cool, then go make that class, right? Oh, but then you make that class and now you wish you could still do the things you used to be able to do. Okay, well then pick. Which one do you want? Like, I don't know. I like that. But again, everything nowadays has to be like perfectly balanced. And to some degree, maybe that's my personality, right? Like when my raid leader comes to me and says, hey, this is what we need for raid. Can you play that? Sure. Sounds good to me. I love Blood DK. I love playing Blood DK. That's my joy. But my raid leader came to me and said, dude, like, Bear is looking really awesome this season. I need, like, would you switch to Bear? Sure. I'm maining Bear tank now, right? Like, that's what I'm doing. Not everybody is that way, so maybe people don't want that, but sometimes I think it's just like a stubbornness of like, this is my character identity, but I still want to do all the things I love to do. So I don't know, but I think I generally agree with that hot take.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me
All
too.
right.
I agree with it.
Question. I'll let you take this one, Chicken. Prey system isn't the last one on the list, but not the last one we're gonna do. This hot take says Prey system is an okay alternative to Delves, but takes a little too long. I actually have minimal Prey experience, so I'm gonna let you kind of dive into that one.
I wouldn't say it's an alternative to Delves. I just think it's like a different take on Delves. I would never say it's an alternative to Delves. That's kind of a weird, like that's like almost saying like PvP or like Mythic Dungeons is an alternative to PvP, which is like, no, stop. No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's just like to me, I don't think you're like, I think you're on the beaten path, but like I think you're just missing a stroke, right? Like I think you are right in saying like it is an alternative to Delves, but like it's just such a weird way of saying it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Like PvP is an alternative to raid. Like, sure, yeah, it is, but not really. So, yeah, one hot take after another. What can you do?
Last hot take, though, that we have for the night. It says, hot take, I did not like what they did with Lithraxian. It's like they said, nope, once bad, always bad. It's just a matter of time. I would have rather they chose Terralion to be the one who went crazy and had to be taken out. I agree and disagree with this hot take, so it's more like a lore hot take. I think what they did with Lithraxian was stupid. I think it would have been just as dumb if they did it with Terralion. I don't understand. They're trying to do this like, oh, the light can be corrupting too, and the light can like push you to do things too, and the light can also be bad too. But the way they're doing it just feels dumb. It feels dumb to me, right? Like it would have been way cooler to explore how the light corrupted maybe like the Scarlet Crusade, right, and blinded them in ways. But Lithraxian's a weird one because Lithraxian was a very cool character conceptually. that allowed them to do a lot of interesting things with lore, right? Because Lithraxian's a Dreadlord. So we know he was once connected to the Burning Legion. We also know that he was once connected, maybe still, but I don't think so now that what's happened has happened, but could have been connected still with the Nathrius, right? As one of the Nathrazim. And he was infused with the light, right? He was a very unique, very, very unique character. And just kind of like they turned him into a butthole. I mean, he kind of always was a little bit, but extra so this expansion. And out of nowhere, we have to go kill him. And it's extra weird too, because the reason we're killing him is because he's trying to destroy a big void thing. And we're told that if he destroys the big void thing, Silver Moon City will blow up. And so we go to stop him. But the person who told us that Silver Moon City is going to blow up was a void creature who probably is lying to us about some stuff. Like, for sure lying. Like, they're not a good person. We're allying with them because we kind of have to and we need their help. But they're definitely not a good person. And I wouldn't consider them... Like, there's no reason this person should have cared if Silver Moon blew up or not. Right? The only reason they might have cared is if they were worried that Silver Moon blowing up would distract our heroes from stopping Xalatath totally, which maybe they wanted, maybe they didn't want. I don't know. Right? But to me, I don't know. It's just kind of like out of the blue, we went and killed Lithraxian. Like, if we had like gone in and maybe stopped Lithraxian and like, what's it called? Like, if you have to like arrest somebody who's like in the military or whatever.
You have to arrest someone in the military?
Yeah, yeah, there's like a terminology for it. But let's say we had to like basically subdue Lithraxian, right? And kind of have the Army of Light deal with him and the repercussions of that and what's so, right? Like, that would have been cool, but just being like, yo, we're just nuking this character as a dungeon boss, and it kind of hits you out of nowhere. Like, literally, he flies off to try and blow up this thing, and we're like, oh, we should go kill him. Let's go kill him. Right? I don't know, man. It was just weird. The whole Lithraxian thing was weird. It would have been weird to me if it was Turalyon too. I think people want Turalyon to be a bad guy. I think that's actually the worst story that could be written for Turalyon. But yeah. I don't know, man. I think there's some cool story to be had, but for whatever reason, with the light right now, Blizzard has a story they want to tell. And if I'm honest, I think sometimes it's less about them wanting to tell, in this case, a great story, and more of them wanting to tell a specific story that maybe is personally meaningful to the writers. Yeah. Anyways, that's all the hot takes that we have. That's all the stuff we're going to be talking about today. We're so thankful, though, that you guys are hanging out with us, chatting about the podcast. If you ever want to leave questions for the podcast, you can do so through the Warband Discord. There's a channel called Pod Questions. And just drop your questions in there. We love to talk about them on the podcast. But that's everything we have to talk. Yeah, heck yeah. That's everything we have to talk about this week. We'll see you again next week.
Bye-bye. Have a great time.